Hello and welcome. So here we are. Tyranids are a very interesting organism, and they manage to gestate enormous creatures in a couple of months. They quickly adapt to anything and are just so incredibly hard to kill. This is not to mention their large numbers and system-wide hive fleets. Now, it got me thinking, could a poison be made, and would it be efficient enough to kill the Tyranids so much that one so effective that it could be used again and again and again? Then I realised the hive fleets have a very good defense against poison, and it is one that is rarely if ever mentioned. Now, the first argument is, well, the rapid adaptivity of Tyranids. It is quick on an evolutionary scale, but it's not so fast that a poison could not remain effective. The way Tyranids adapt is while they are consuming a planet, the DNA of the defenders and any chemicals is transferred to the hive ship. They continue consuming and doing everything else, but yeah, it's round about this time while they're doing it. And that is where the adaptation is made. As soon as the hive ship knows poison, it can create, and it will create, an immunity to it. And that takes time to get to this point, and this point of time is 26 weeks into the invasion. Now, that is when defenders and dead Tyranids are fed to digestive pools and made into a biological gruel and fed to the hive ships via a umbilicus file. So, to have a constantly effective poison, it needs to wipe out every single Tyranid in half a year. Now, the best way to start and talk about this is a poisonous gas. It is the most efficient ways to use. Now, if we just look at a cloud and using Earth as our basis, a cloud can circle the Earth in 35 days. So, there you go, 35 days. But that's not including the inhaling of the gas, and that is also actually quite high in the atmosphere. So it's great for killing the flying Tyranids, not so much the grounded organisms, it will just go over their heads. But so we need one which is on the ground and goes up, or one that goes which is up and goes down. And the average wind speed on Earth is 7.14 miles per hour. So it would take around about 180 weeks for that toxic cloud to circle Earth. And by that time the Tyranids have gone and become immune to the poison. That is also a single small cloud, so you would need a lot of it, around a quarter of the planet's entire atmosphere, to get it in time on the deadline. And our atmosphere is 4.2 billion kilometers cubed of air. So we'd need about a quarter of that. That is 1 billion kilometers cubed of poison. A battle barge is 342 kilometers cubed. You would need around 3 million battle barges full of poison every time you wanted to deploy it. Ubude Gilliman took a fleet of several hundred on his Indomitus crusade. That's for context. And the Imperium just does not have that many ships. And let's say they did, then we'd come to our second problem. The time. For this to even have a chance of working, all those ships would need to be at the planet at the start of the invasion. At the very start. And they got to let the invasion happen while the poison is going around the planet. Look, I can talk about the massive loss of human life, but this is the Imperium. There you go. Look, it's not impossible. It would not be impossible. It'd be very difficult if they had the ships. There you go. But okay, let's say the wind blew in the Imperium's favour. Everything was going their way. Completely successful. All the Tyranids died on the planet. The knowledge of the poison never made it to the hive ship, so they never managed to get the immunity. And we come to the Tyranids' greatest defense against poison. See, a poisonous gas cloud or any form of poison would work in an atmosphere. In the void, it's a different matter. If we look at the most lethal poison we have, it is cyanide, and that freezes at minus 14 degrees. The void space is minus 270 degrees, both Celsius, just so you know. That means our poison is now a solid. And if a hive ship could inhale, the hive ship would not be able to inhale a solid poison. And the hive ships gain most of their nutrition via umbilical cords. In spires, I should say. So, even if as a solid, there would be no way to get the hive ship to ingest it, let alone the amount needed to kill the entire hive fleet. And there is Tyranids' true defense against poison. It's not their adaptivity, it is, no matter how many kill with it, it would only be a planet-side weapon at best. There is nothing to stop a second invasion once the poison is dissipated, and the second one will be quicker. There will be more hive ships, more Tyranids, and it will be very quick and very brutal. Poison is a temporary solution at the very best. So there you go. Tyranids and poison. And what do you think? Do you think poison could work? Do you think maybe they could find a way to get it into the hive ships via the umbilical cord, the spires? Maybe you could create one strong enough that it actually does kill a hive ship. Would that stop it? Would they not be able to? Maybe killing a hive ship would mean poison would stop it, creating any form of antidote. Or maybe, the hive ship, before it dies, psychically sends the chemical compound knowledge to other hive ships. Therefore, they can create an immunity to it. So, there you go. Tyranids. Such an interesting organism to talk about, especially on a biology level. It is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, as I always do. I hope to see you all very soon. Links to Wayland Games is down below as always, as is Forbidden Planet, Patreon, my merchandise, my t-shirts, my comics, blah 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 blah. As always, it's glad to see you, and I'm glad you watched this video, and I hope you have a very good day. I would really like to hear your thoughts on this one, actually. And I'll see you all again very soon.